Welcome to Chris Cook for You Too. Have we got a treat for your holiday table today? We're going to be making chocolate Oreo cheesecake. Now, I'm going to let you know the ingredients that you're going to need, but as always, I'll put your ingredient list in the description box. So let's get started. You're going to need granulated sugar, a pack of Oreo cookies, and we're using the chocolate Oreo cookies, cream cheese, and that's going to be softened cream cheese, a stick of butter, semi-sweet chocolate, eggs, vanilla extract, and of course you're going to need a spring pan. Now we're going to show you, if you're not familiar with the spring pan, we're going to show you exactly how that comes apart. Okay, it's two separate pieces, so when you go in the store to buy it, this is the type pan that you're going to need in order to make this delicious cheesecake. So go ahead and set your oven at 350 degrees preheated, and we're gonna meet you at the mixer. Be right back. Before we go to the mixer, we're going to crush these cookies up into the food processor. Now you can use a small or large food processor, but I find that it's finely grated or crushed up a lot better if you're using the smaller food processor. Now you really don't want to have big pieces of cookie still left that hasn't been crushed up. So if you look into the food processor and you see that some of your pieces have not been crushed up, go ahead and take them out and just recrush them. Okay, there's going to be 3 times that you're going to need the food processor. If you're using a big one, you can get away with just using it once, but there's going to be a triple layer or 3 different parts in this video that you're going to actually need to crush up Oreo cookies if you're using a small one. But if you're using a large one, you can just crush them all in one time. And that's the consistency that you need your actual cookies to be crushed to. Now, once the cookies have been crushed up, you're going to melt your butter and you're going to put your butter in. And this is for the crust of the Oreo cookie cheesecake. So you're going to make certain that once you melt your butter, that you blend together everything. You're going to blend together the cookies and you're going to blend together the butter with it. But you want to make certain that your butter touches every part of the cookies. Now, we did not take, this is very important, you don't want to strip your cookies of the cream that's inside. Just leave the cream and just go ahead and crush the cookies with the cream inside when you're using the food processor. Then put it into your bowl, add your butter, and blend everything up really, really good. Now, you really don't have to. If you don't have a spring pan, don't worry about it. The only difference in using a spring pan and not using one is with the spring pan, you're able to take the whole dessert out of the pan and then cut it. But when you're using a regular pan, you'll have to cut it in the pan. So that's the difference in the two. So use your own better judgment. If you have no problem with just cutting it and then giving your guests a piece from the pan, cutting from the pan, then go ahead and just use your regular pan. This spring pan, I think, is about $14, $15 in the store. It's not very expensive, but if you make a lot of any kind of desserts where it's required to be cut on the pan, it's better that you buy the spring pan. Now, once you put your Oreo cookie blend with the butter inside of your spring pan, you want to make certain that it's leveled and it's patted all around, just to give you that flat surface before you go to the next stage. Then you want to set that aside, and now you want to go to the mixer and you want to mix up your cream cheese. This is 3 packets of cream cheese, and to that we're going to add the sugar slowly and then you're going to put in some vanilla extract. Now, I told you, before, you see that this is not me. I'm actually doing the talking, but my daughter don't like to do the talking on the videos, but she has no problem with making the desserts. And she's better than I am at making the desserts. So why not give her just due and allow her to go ahead and do that? And plus, it's a lot more complicated when you're baking, because a lot of your ingredients have to be precise. And when you're an old school cook, you mostly eyeball and wing everything. So that's the difference, in the two. So if you have the patience for baking, you will see me bake periodically, but you really won't see me do a lot of it. Now, when you're doing your blending of your ingredients, make certain that you do what you just saw her do, which is scrape down your bowl to make certain that all of your ingredients are incorporated well. Then you're going to go ahead and put in your room temperature eggs, and you're going to put them in one at a time. Now, this is going to be, and you'll see that a little bit later, your mixture is going to be cut in half, because you're going to have, it's going to be like a tri-level cheesecake with 3 different colors to it, but it's all going to be the same mix. So I hope I didn't confuse you right there. And what I mean, you have the crust that's going to be a deep dark chocolate. Then you have the first layer that's going to be a mixed chocolate. That's why you're going to separate your cream cheese. And then you're going to have the next layer, the third layer, which is going to be a combination of the cream cheese mixture and the Oreo cookie mixture. So it's going to be a speckled type black and white type mixture. And then right over the top, you can add some Oreo cookies, which you're going to see us do, crushed Oreo cookies, or you can just not have the Oreo cookies put on top. You can put some whipped cream, or you can just leave it as is. So now we're finishing up the blending process, and then she's going to take that and set it aside. And the next step is going to be to melt the milk chocolates. Now, the milk chocolates, you're going to start your microwave out at 30 seconds, and you're going to allow that 30 seconds to deplete. Once it's stopped, your chocolate chips or milk chocolate chips will not be completely melted. But you want to do it in 30-second increments, because you do not want to get this to a point where you burn your milk chocolate chips. Here you see it's partially blended, and see it's not completely melted. So she's going to put that back in the microwave, and she's going to melt it with 30-second increments until it gets melted to the consistency that she wants to use it, which is the consistency that you just saw. So then she's going to go ahead and put it over into that split cream cheese. Remember, we split the cream cheese in half. So the first split is going to be with the milk chocolate. Now she's going to incorporate this really, really good. Stir it up really, really good. You can do it one of two ways. You can stir it up really, really good, and you can end up with having the complete milk chocolate look of the cream cheese, or you can partially blend it like what you see there, and then it'll end up being like it was a mixture of the chocolate and the vanilla together. And so you might want to just do it that way and just leave it. See how that is? Then just leave it and just put it into the cheesecake. Or you want to just go ahead and completely blend in the chocolate, which is exactly what she's going to do. She's going to completely blend in the chocolate, and then she's going to put in the next layer. This cheesecake is really, really good. It's not complicated to do. It's really easy, but I think that you will get a ton of raves if you decide to put this on one of your holiday tables. And we have 3 coming up. We got the Thanksgiving, then we have the Christmas, and we have the New Year's. So you got 3 different times that you can use this, or you can just use it anytime. Now look at it now. When she puts the chocolate filling, cheesecake filling next to the crushed Oreo cookies, look at the difference. So when you cut into it, that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get that layer of the Oreo cookies. On top of that, you're going to get the layer of the milk chocolate. And then on top of that, you're going to get a layer of the crushed or salt and pepper look type chocolate, cheesecake chocolate that's going to be on top. Again, I tell you, this is a very, very good recipe. And once you master this, you'll be doing it again and again. Okay, as I told you at first, your ingredients will be in the description box. And I also want to just let you know that the tutorials are just for you to see the steps so that you can do it. And measurements are not what I do right here, because if I give you the measurements, it really won't matter when you're doing the blending, because you have to know what to put where. So if we do it this way, if you just watch the tutorial, so you'll know then when to put the crust, when to put the first filling, when to put the second filling. Now, as you can see, she just mixed in some more of the crushed Oreo cookies. She mixed that in with the cheese, cream cheese, and now she's blending that together. And that's going to be the next layer of this cheesecake. Now she's going to pour that layer on top of the milk chocolate layer. She's really, really good when it comes to this baking. If you all have tried any of her recipes, or if you're thinking about trying it, you won't be misled, because she really does a great job when it comes to baking. And I think it's something that you can be proud of if you put it down on any table where you're going to have extended guests, or even if it's just for your family, you're going to get tons of raves. I'm doing raves. I'm doing a traditional Thanksgiving as I always do. Not expected to have a lot of people as I normally do, because we're under quarantine. And I've been doing Thanksgiving for about 35 years. So I've gotten to the point where, certain things that you just expect to do. You expect to have a normal Christmas. You expect to have a normal holiday with the turkey and all of that. But this year I won't have as many guests as I normally do. But the food is going to get ate nevertheless, because even if they have to come to the front door, knock, pick up the food and keep it going, that'll be okay too. Now, the next step of this, and this is you can do it or you cannot do it. She's going to put some more crushed Oreo cookies on top. And I told you you'll be using the Oreo cookies, 3 times what you did. You used them as with the bottom crust. Then you used them right there when you mixed it in with the cheesecake. And now you see she's putting the Oreo cookie crush on top of the cheesecake. Now, I did tell you to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and you're going to cook this for about 35 minutes. And the next step is truly, truly important. If you kind of get a little bit confused on all of the steps that you've done, which I don't think that you will, because we've walked you through it step by step, this next step is very important. It makes the difference, and I will repeat this, in whether or not your cheesecake comes out with a crack in it or whether or not it comes out solid. So don't think that when, people show you certain things that don't make sense, don't think that because it doesn't make sense that it's not a needed step. because it actually is. And I'll show you what the next step is. Now she's finishing up putting on the Oreo cookies topping, and you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but if you do, it'll be just a little bit better. This is the most important step. She took the spring pan and she set it over inside of a bigger pan, and she's adding water to the bigger pan. Let me stop right here and say this. Don't worry, because that's a 2-part pan. Don't worry about the water seeping into the 2 parts. It won't, because you put the pan in first. And that blocks that water from getting underneath the pan in order to fill up in your cheesecake, which it wouldn't do anyway because the pan is very well designed. Then you fill it halfway full of water, which is what you saw her do. And now you see the cake is baked 350 degrees, 35 minutes. Now she's taking it out. That's the way it looks when it's done. Okay, so because this is going to be used for our Thanksgiving Day table, she's not going to cut it. But I got a little secret I want to let you in on. This cake was made before, and we had already showed you how it was actually cut, but the video, for some reason, it got destroyed. So the part that we're actually showing at the end, that's going to be a portion of the first cake that we made and we ate. So now you're seeing the second cake, cheesecake, that we had to make in order to replace the first cheesecake. Now, I know that this is delicious. I know you're going to enjoy it. So I can end right here by saying thank you for watching. Chris cooked for you too. Enjoy your holidays. Bye.